In this video, I'm going to show you how I prepared a lasagna dinner for 30 to 40 people. Lasagna is a dish that most people like, and it fits well with special events, such as a wedding rehearsal dinner. So to begin, cook the ground beef and sausage. I cooked them separately because they would not fit in the same pan, even though I am using large pans. You're probably saying about right now that I could have used a microwave to cook the meat faster, but I do not believe in using microwaves because they nuke all the nutrients out of the food. So I have stopped using microwaves altogether. I do not want to serve empty food to my family or guests. While you're cooking the meat, start heating your water to get ready for the noodles. A drop of oil in the water will help prevent the noodles from sticking together. Rinse the noodles with cold water so they don't stick together. While the meat is finishing up, we can start building the sauce. I want one of these can openers. This is just so cool. I have done this meal in 3 different kitchens. This kitchen happens to belong to my church. It had lots of space and large dishes that I could use. And also that cool can opener. It's also possible to do this in a person's home, preferably one who has double ovens when it comes time to cook the lasagnas. The first time, I made 3 large pans serving about 30 people and had too many leftovers. So the last time, I only prepared 2 large pans and a small pan, which was enough to feed 40 people sufficiently. After we have our meats and sauces combined, we add our herbs and spices next. I rarely measure anything, but I have noted approximately what I think I used for your benefit. As you can see, this pan is barely large enough. You might want to look for a bigger pan than what I'm using here. Simmer just long enough for the flavors to blend. The best way to know if it's done is tasting. You can always add more herbs as needed. When I make lasagna at home, I always use ricotta cheese. That's expensive, so for a large group, I use cottage cheese instead. Along with the lasagna, I also served garlic French braided bread on the side, a fresh garden salad, plus a dessert. The dessert was one of these large pans of dirt cake. Dirt cake always goes over well with everyone. For drinks, I served iced tea, lemonade, and water for those who avoid sugar. Look for my video of how to make the garlic braided bread on my YouTube channel. You will also find the dirt cake recipe on my blog site, www.youfixitmom.com. You'll find the link below in the description. I bought most of my supplies from Sam's Club, buying in bulk to save money. We used disposable dishes, cups, and silverware for a quick, easy cleanup. My cost to put on this dinner was between $200 and $250. That's roughly $6 a person. Since I had bought the bulk quantities of napkins, plastic utensils in bulk, I saved the unused leftovers for the 2 following weddings. I did have to buy more plates for the last wedding though. People like to have a new dish when they get dessert, so it's a good idea to have more plates than you think you need. I actually prepared the main part of the meal, the lasagna, a full week before the wedding. I will not do the final cooking until the day of the rehearsal dinner. Once I get them assembled, they will go right into the freezer. The order of assembly from bottom to top, you start with a thin layer of sauce, then noodles, then meat sauce, then noodles, then cottage cheese, then noodles, then meat sauce, then top with shredded mozzarella cheese. Is that confusing? How about this? Noodles, meat, noodles, cheese, noodles, meat. So that's basically 2 layers of meat and 3 layers of noodles. 1 layer of cheese, not counting the little sprinkling of mozzarella cheese on top. I have made this meal 3 times so far and have yet 3 more sons to marry off. So I'm doing this video as much for my own benefit as well as yours. That way I will have a record of how I did it and be able to remember the quantities that I used. These foil pans are a bit flimsy and they're also heavy once you get the lasagna together, so it's nice to have a large flat pan to support it as I move it. The cart was also helpful. I bought the pans from Sam's Club as well. You do not have to have the industrial size foil. You can just use a regular foil. The extra long length is helpful. When I did this meal at home, I used one of my art boards to support the pans while moving them. And to transport them, I used a cardboard box. To cut down on the last-minute stresses of putting together a wedding, I prepared the lasagna a week in advance, as you can see here, uncooked. Then stored them in the freezer. I removed them from the freezer the night before the rehearsal dinner. So on the day of the rehearsal, all I had to worry about was putting together the salad and the dessert so it would be fresh. I also made the bread ahead of time and froze it, but I think I prefer bread made fresh that day. While the rehearsal was taking place, the lasagna was in the oven cooking. Being that they might be still partially frozen, allow extra baking time. I think it took about an hour and a half to cook them thoroughly. I am all for making things easier, with a lot less stress, because with weddings there are so many details to tend to already, such as decorating. The guests enjoyed the menu and everything tasted great, and I didn't feel stressed out at all.